Good evening, everybody. It is Liam, the Deaf Doom Metal Head. I wish you a happy new year and all that jazz. 2022 was a really good year for music, for me personally, as well as quite a lot of people who watch these videos. So I wanted to show you my 20 albums of the year, full-length albums. I've done in my previous video, which was my EPs, my splits and stuff like that, but this is full-length albums from bands of varying genres in this video. Actually, a lot of it is Deaf Doom, which you would expect from me, but I think the last couple would surprise you in the top spots because they're albums that really impressed me this year. So I have a cold, so if I sound a bit crap, I do apologise, but we'll crack on. Number 20 is an album that really surprised me. This band has been around since '97 and this is their debut for 2022, and that was the band Hearse with Traipse Across the Empty Graves. This is some Deaf Doom out of the USA. Features former members from Grand Belial's Key, and there's another band involved. I can't remember the name of it though. But this is fantastic. Really raw, old school sounding Deaf Doom, like in that very early 90s vein, and with members of Grand Belial's Key. It has the same sort of production values as Grand Belial's Key, so it's got that really rawness to it. It's kind of off kilt where you it sounds like it was recorded way back in the 90s, but it's obviously a new album. And it is just fantastic. Artwork is killer. A guy who is in this band is also in the band Crucifier, which I think put out an EP this year. But yeah, I mean, I love that 90s raw Deaf Doom sound, and this is very reminiscent of that. If you like your very early My Dying Bride, your very early Paradise Lost, it is in that ballpark. And then you listen to other bands of that time period, they all have that kind of edge to them where it's gritty, it's death metal, but it's very slow, it's very doomy, and this is no exception. So my number 20, Hearse. Number 19 is some pure Finnish death metal, one of the best bands of that scene for me, and this is a fantastic album. This is their third full length and that was released in April, and that is Corpsessed with Succumb to Rot. This was put out through, I think, Massacre and Dark Descent. I love this band. They are proper Finnish death metal. It's crunchy, heavy, the vocals are really deep, really fucking, grab you by the balls. I mean, they do wicked album covers as well on their albums. And they're just a really heavy band, and this has got loads of hooky riffs, it's groovy in some parts, it's just a sheer brutality of Finnish death metal, and these guys sum it up perfectly. The Finns do death metal very well. So yeah, my number 19 pick, Corpsessed, Succumb to Rot. Number 18 is a German death metal band that were new to me this year. Really impressed me when I heard this album, and I've jammed this a lot since it came out back in April. This is an FDA Records release. This is Scalpture with the album Feldwarts. Now I believe this is their second full length, and this band are a cross between, they're in the Asphyx ballpark, so if you like Asphyx you'll absolutely adore this band already. Very reminiscent of those guys, and they kind of have more of a energy to them, because obviously Asphyx is a Deaf Doom band where these guys are straight up no nonsense death metal. It's fast, it's heavy, it's brutal, but the vocals are delivered in that kind of Van Drunen-esque way, and it's just brilliant. The production is massive on this album, absolutely massive. The guitars sound huge, the drums sound huge, the bass sounds huge, everything about it is fucking massive. Really impressed me, and I still haven't decided whether the cover should look like that, where he's looking into a puddle on the floor, or he's looking into a reflection of himself dead. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, wicked album, and one everyone should check out because that really surprised me. So number 18, Scalpture with Feldwarts. Number 17 is some black and death metal out of Texas. Now this album is only 3 tracks long, but it's about 31 minutes of pure technical-esque blackened death metal, and it just hits the spot, and that is Haunter with the album Disincarnate, Ails. This was put out through Profound Law back in April as well. I mean, the gatefold for this is like a book. It's really bizarre, and it's slightly taller than all my other 12-inch vinyls. And this is a gatefold as well. So I don't know if anyone else picked this up this year, but I wasn't expecting that for a half-an-hour album. But this is brutal. I mean, it's massive. I mean, if you're not a fan of black metal and you're trying to get into black metal, this is a really good band to check out, because this has got a real heavy blood incantation vibe to them, and the guitar tone is massive, it's thick, and you've got these nice twiddly black metal parts, and it kind of all comes into one kind of big circle where you've got black metal vocals and there's some kind of death metal-esque style vocals. And as a Texan band, there's a little bit of groove in there in some parts, especially on the death metal breakdowns. And it's just a fantastic album. It's short because there's only 3 tracks. The longest being the side B one, Chained at the Helm of the Eschaton. But you know, it's one I've put on a lot because it's so easy to get into with the 3 songs. You remember certain sections and you just check it out again and again and again. So if you're into some black and death metal from Texas, go give these guys a go. Haunter. That's my number 17. Number 16 is some Italian/Estonian death doom. This is their, I think, their debut full length for this year. This was put out back in August, and this band is another fantastic one. This is a Pablo Garardi artwork, and I think there's a few more of these in this list. And that is Ferum with Asunder a Road. This was put out through Avant-Garde way back, what did I say? August, did I say? Yes. So this is Death Doom, Italian Death Doom with female-fronted vocalist Samantha. She does all the vocals. I think she even does most of the writing for this band as well. And she's got a set of pipes on her. She registers in that more low growl, obituary-esque kind of death metal style approach to the vocals. It's just kind of a growl. There's no kind of ultra guttural vocals or anything like that. It's just a steady growl. You kind of get a feel for the band, and there's just so many good riffs on this album. I mean, the album cover is sick, and it's turned up in a black sleeve with a warning sticker saying explicit artwork, which I thought was really cool because I haven't got anything like that. It's just a plain black sleeve for this. But I love the artwork. Paolo Garardi is an Italian artist who most people should know, and his artwork is killer. And this sums up this album perfectly. It's really gritty, nasty. It's not too fast. It does speed up in certain sections, but there's a 3-piece that absolutely nail it. Very, very heavy band. There's the band there, and there's Samantha who does the vocals and most of the writing for this band, I believe. And it's great. I absolutely love this. Absolutely fantastic album, and it's one I've listened to a fair bit since it's come out. So if you haven't checked them out before, obviously for every album I'm going to leave links below for you guys to check out. But yeah, Ferum with Asunder a Road. That's my number 16. Number 15 is some Aussie Death Doom, a brand new band with another Pablo Garardi out front cover. This is Malignant Aura with a really long album. Abysmal Misfortune is Draped Upon Me. But long album title even. It's not a really long album. This was put out through Bitter Lost Records back in May, and this is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good album. I mean, a story behind it. This year when I first listened to this, I drained my car battery to the point where I needed to buy a new battery for my car. That's how good it was. You know, it didn't prompt me to turn off my ignition, and that's always going to stick with me, that memory. But this is a brilliant Death Doomy, but it's more not just basic Death Doom where you kind of assume you're going to get like a Hooded Menace kind of clone. Nothing like that. These guys are a bit progressive in some parts, and it's very hooky, and it's got a kind of a blackened edge to it almost in certain sections, and there's epicness to it, and it's just amazing. And that cover just screams "Buy me" instantly, and it has been one I've listened to a lot. So if you haven't checked them out, obviously please do. But that is my number 15 pick, Malignant Aura. Really cool album. Right, number 14 is some German death metal, a band that's been around for absolutely ages, and they're a weird one, and I don't know too much about them, but this album really impressed me, and it was kind of inspired me to kind of look into their discography further. This band have been around since '91. I think they've disbanded a few times, but they're back together again. This is their 5th full length that came out back in January, and that is Dark Millennium with, I think this is called Acid River. That's right. This was put out through Massacre Records. Now this is progressive death doom, and when I say progressive, it has these kind of proggy elements into it. They're bands that they sound like Morgoth, but then Morgoth became a doom band and went a bit avant-garde in their style. They kind of throw a lot of different riffs at you on this album. This starts off, the very first song, The Verger, it's got, or was it God Forgotten? I can't remember which one it is. It's the first full song, and it has this kind of like really My Dying Bride-esque kind of catchy 90s riff that almost sounds like early Catatonia as well. But then they go into some clean sections with weird progressive guitar parts, and they break up the album that way. The vocals are consistent all the way through. Really, really cool, and it really carries this album. But the guitar work is fantastic because it's so varied. Not every song is not the same. There's loads of little progressive elements where they use certain keys to change the songs and make it really memorable because the riffs are so weird. And it's not something on paper that I would have checked out, but when I listened to this after someone recommended, I think it was Roger recommended it to me, it's stuck in my head, and it is a really, really cool Death Doom album, and it doesn't sound like anyone else I've heard this year, which is really, really special because you don't get that often bands that stand out and have their own sound, and these guys certainly stand out. So if you haven't checked out Dark Millennium, now you will. So yeah, that's my number 14, Dark Millennium. I'm rubbish at counting. Right, number 13 is an album that a lot of people, I think, slated for the wrong reasons, and I don't get why people complained because I didn't see a problem with it. And this is a brilliant band, Temple of Void, with their latest, what's it called, Summoning the Slayer. This was put out through, I think it was Relapse Records this year. Yeah, this year. We're in 2023 now. I'm talking about Ails. So this is their 4th full length, and two things you're going to get with Temple of Void: they're a solid Death Doom band, and they always have wicked album covers, and this is no exception. I mean, art is key with death metal and any kind of metal album. If you've got good artwork, you're on a winner. And this is good. This is very memorable Death Doom. It's different to their previous works where it's a bit more progressive, a bit more friendly in a way. It's not so harsh and drony, and they've kind of left that Hooded Menace blueprint they kind of started on in their earlier albums. These guys have kind of got their own kind of style now where you know it's Hooded Menace, Temple of Void as soon as you hear it because of the vocal style, the riffs, and then you've got these kind of progressive elements and they get a bit more atmospheric. And then you'll have these certain chunky riffs that come in out of nowhere, like Summoning this, what was it called, Death Touch, that's the one. And there's a middle section in there with this breakdown riff, and it's really, really good. But then you can hum the choruses on this album, and then the last song, Desolation, where everyone blew their mind thinking, why have you put that on the end of the album? Why not? You know, on Consecration's album that I did this year, we put acoustic endings and starts in the middles with instrumentals, because you do, as art, you know, you kind of expand on your sound. It's not essentially a key track this band will ever play live, but Dissolution is just a bit of fun, and it's got that kind of proggy, weird 70s Led Zeppelin sound to me, and I quite like it. But the actual album as a whole, you know, bar that track, is solid Temple of Void Death Doom, so yeah, I absolutely love it. So yeah, number 13. That came out back in June. Now, number 12 was a really special album as well. This was one in the Funeral Doom realm, but it's nothing like what you could maybe hear in the background. This is very, very special. This is Ard with Take Up My Bones, which was put out through Prophecy Records back in February. And this is Mark Deeks' solo project, who is the keyboardist in Winter Philith. He's also an amazing pianist, like one of the best you'll ever hear. Like, he can educate anyone to play piano. He writes these wicked pieces, and this has got loads of them in here. And this is a Funeral Doom album that talks about, by memory, St Cuthbert and the removal of his bones to a sacred island in the north of England near Newcastle, by memory. I don't know my history that well, but it's just a fantastic album. There he is there, looking all sombre. And this is kind of a weird one for Funeral Doom because it's got a churchy medieval vibe to it. So, you know, with the choirs, church choirs from like ancient medieval times, and that kind of vibe to it. It has that all in the songs. It's very epic, very melodic, very, very catchy. And there's like certain sections where it's all drawn out, really miserable. Then he puts on this wicked guitar solo. Especially on Take Up My Bones. I mean, that is the best song on this album for me, and it was the main selling point for this whole project when I first heard it. Just to how catchy it is, how different it is, and it sounds again like no other Funeral Doom album that I've heard this year in 2022. So yeah, go check it out because it is a very unique album, and there's no album that sounds like it that you've heard recently anyway. So number 12, Ard. Right, number 11 is some American Death Doom. This band are amazing, and another new band to me. and that is Night Hag with Phantasmal Scourge. This was put out through Rotted Life back in January, and this is 55 minutes of bloody brilliant Death Doom. It's got everything. You get so much music for your money on this. I mean, when I started listening to this, I thought, oh, it's going to end soon. It just carries on. It's great. You know, there's 9 tracks here of just solid Death Doom, where it's got that grittiness to it with that incantation vibe. They pick up the pace, they can blast, they can slow it right down. They've got the melodies in there, the vocals are spot on. It's got energy, you know, it's got everything you want in a Death Doom band, like everything. Ticks all those little boxes. But the only thing they haven't got is synths, you know, but they don't need it, you know, why would they want it? But yeah, it's fucking awesome. I absolutely adore it. A brilliant album. I'm really looking forward to hearing more music from these guys, because this was killer. So yeah, that is my number 11 pick, just outside my top 10, Night Hag with Phantasmal Scourge. Right, number 10 is an album I always knew was going to be my end year list, because these blokes, not only are they friends, but this was an album that genuinely impressed me, and I've been a fan of this band for yonks. And it's really cool to see them doing music again. Weird coincidence, it's the same year that I put another album out with my band, and you know, all that kind of thing. It tied in the same month it even came out. And that is Enchantment with Cold Soul Embrace. This came out in June, I think. Yes. And this is only their second album. The band formed in 91. Wrote this album 94, 95, and then they split up in 95. Lay dormant until 2021, 22 during the COVID lockdown stuff. And then re-released this, but with obviously a newer track. And yeah, just pushed the band again to get back out there so people know about them. And then it's a fucking amazing album. It really is. This is why it's in my top 10, because not because they're friends, but this is an album where it's, again, another Death Doom band that sounds totally different to everyone else that's come out this year. They're not a death metal band that's just playing slower and putting some kind of melodies in there, and then they're a Death Doom band. These guys are playing almost with a gothic tinge to them, and it's got that kind of romantic vibe to it, and it's all epic, and it's all very vinyls, all epic, and it's all, you know, a bit dramatic in some parts. And I mean, you read the lyrics, you know, a bit fancy-pantsy, but that's me winding up Paul, because his vocals on this are actually really, really good. Like, really good. They're a massive change to the previous album, which I liked, because it had a weird uniqueness to it. But this one, he's gone full, his own signature voice, and you can hear his voice, and he does his spoken word bits in there, and it's just amazing. And like, favourite track was As Greed as Eyes Behold. That is probably one of my favourite songs of 2022. I might even do a video about that, because that song and a few more got lots of spins this year, and that was a selling point for Enchantment being back on the map. You know, they're really, really impressed with this album. Another one of mine was A Swan Like Duet and In the Cello Felt Glare. You know, solid, doomy death songs. You know, and they've got a weird uniqueness to them, melodies, you know, it's fantastic. So yeah, number 10, Enchantment. That was put out through Cosmic Key Creations as well. Right, number 9 is another one that I didn't even expect to have in this list, and it's weird how it's just crept in there, and it's been a real earworm for me, this album. Now, this band actually reached out to me a few months ago to review this album, and I never heard of them before. And I said, yeah, of course. I checked it out, and I was fucking floored by how good it is. And I've streamed it, and and I've only now just got the physical copy of the CD this week because of the Royal Mail strikes here in the UK. And this is a German/Spanish band. This is Jade with their album The Pacification of Death. This was put out through Pulverised Records back in November, and that is around the period I heard from the band by memory. And this is fantastic. It's not long, it's 40 minutes of blackened Death Doom, and I can't get enough of it. I'm a big Ruins of Beverast fan, and these guys have a real strong vibe of that kind of style of music from that project. But again, they're not copying them or anything like that, it's just that's what it reminds me of. Very atmospheric, very, very melodic, very catchy. The songs are really simple to get into. They're not like heavily structured with different time changes and all that kind of stuff. This is just well written songs in a death doomy kind of way with a black metal edge to it, with the harmonies and how they're played and the tones. There's some shouted vocals on top of it to give it kind of like this weird epicness to it. And it floored me. I mean, and it's one that's been, because it's only 40 minutes long, it's again another album you can digest really, really quickly. And it just sinks in your ears, and then you remember it. And I'm humming the riffs in my head now, just talking about it, because it's that easy to get into. And it's just wicked, absolutely wicked. And it's even cool that the band reached out to me to check this out, because I've never even heard of them before, but I fucking have now. So, number 9 is Jade, with the album, The Pacification of Death. I don't know why I can't say that, but there you go. Let's have a drink. Cheers. Alright, number 8 is one that most people would expect to see on this list because it's a fucking monster of an album. This is the second full length from supergroup as a way, Mortuous, with the album, what's this one called? Upon Desolation. This was put out back in September by Extremely Rotten Productions, and I think Dark Descent is involved as well, maybe. And this is an American death doom band, excuse me, that has members from Vastum, Exhumed, Necrot. They've all been in those bands, and they've put together this wicked project. And there the lads there, and it's just solid. Their previous album was amazing. I forget when that came out, maybe 2019, 2018. And then this one has a charm to it that I absolutely adore. It has violins. Now you're thinking, why does it matter that it has violins? Why does that add charm to it? Because it has that My Dying Bride, Turn Loose the Swans, that period of My Dying Bride sound in some of the mid sections of certain songs. Like if you listen to the song, I think it's Nothing, it has this breakdown riff, and it's just like, fuck yeah. Then it goes a bit Candlemass, then it goes Pummel You again with death metal, and it just goes all over those little sections like that, and I fucking love that. I adore music like that. That's me. If I can get a really good melody with a dual guitar harmony, big heavy drums, big guttural vocals, I'm all in. And these guys do that really, really well. Yeah, so number 8 is Mortuous. Now, some black metal for number 7. This is probably, I think there's only 2 black metal albums in this list by memory. And this is one, again, never heard of them before. Blindly bought it based on the cover really, and it just really, really impressed me how varied the music is on this album. This is a Greek band. This is Wampyrinacht with Night of the Desecration. This was put out through Iron Bonehead back in May. This is the band's second full length. Now, madly, these guys have been around since '95 apparently, and this is only their second full length album. And the first one came out not that long ago either, so a bit late to the party with regards to full lengths, but this is fantastic. Now, it's black metal with a kind of a raw edge to it. It's a bit thrashy, and it's got that kind of Greek black metal sound to it, but these guys vary in the songs, and they add so much different layers to their songs. There's some drawn out like instrumental sections to pad the songs out. There's some kind of shreddy solos and melodic solos where they're isolated as well. And you get some real good guitar work. You know, musically it's really interesting. It's not straight up blast beats shrieking with loads of tremolo pick riffs. There's so much more musically going on this album. And it's one that I haven't seen no one talk about apart from myself, which is really disappointing because this is an amazing album and one people should be taking interest in, because not only because it's got tits on the cover, what more do you want from there, but like musically it's fantastic. It's got so much going on and you really do get your money's worth. For a black metal band as well, like to kind of push the boundaries of different styles of music and trying to shove that into their sound. So yeah, number 7, Wampyrinacht with Night of the Desecration. Right. Number 6 is another Iron Bonehead release, and this again fucking floored me. Blindly bought because I saw the tag Death Doom, Doom Death, and yeah, this is a brilliant album. So this is the Italian band In Grief at number 6 with An Eternity of Misery, another Iron Bonehead release. This came out in September. It's a 3-piece band with 2 of the lads in a death metal band called Congenital Deformity, which are very, very cool. But this is them doing Doom Death, Death Doom. I'm going to say Doom Death because it's quite slow, it's not very fast. But it has that, if you could picture Dance of December Souls by Catatonia, and they had a baby with My Dying Brides, Thrash of Naked Limbs, Turn Loose the Swans Era. You get this band, and the production and the way the riffs are written, everything has that 90s early, you know, Peace Feel Free, death doomy kind of style, and it's amazing. And the cover doesn't really give much away, but if you like that old school sound, like I've shown with other albums on here, like Hearse and all that kind of thing, with it, it's deliberately recorded and edited in a way that it sounds older than it actually is, and it's just a wicked release, absolutely wicked band. The guys are in there, and yeah, I can't tell you how good this is, and I probably might upgrade this to vinyl at some point because I really do like this. And it's just, yeah, another album that I've been listening to a lot. I mean a lot. So especially when it's darker now and it's colder outside, this fits that mood perfectly. So that is my number 6 in brief. Now number 5, I can't actually physically show you. I'm just going to move my list down because it hasn't arrived yet. It's on pre-order. The CD cost an absolute bomb, and I saw the pre-order for the vinyl, so I've got that appearing some point this year. Now we're in January of 2023, but the album in question will be Suppression, with their debut full length. This is a Chilean death metal band, and this album I've streamed a lot. I mean a lot. This has been my go-to for the gym, when I'm out and about in the car, when I've got the Bluetooth car, and it's just amazing. It's so riffy, catchy. It's got fretless bass, so you've got this kind of Steve Dodorio kind of style bass playing on it, and it's just magnificent. The riffs, they're chunky, the drums are raw, organic, very blasty. Vocals are spot on. It just, the Chileans do death metal really, really well, and I can name loads of cool albums, but that for me is a now standout Chilean death metal album for me. There's a few more I have in my collection from that part of the world that I absolutely adore, and that's become one of them. So when I do get it, I will obviously show it on this channel, but until then you'll have to make do with the magical screenshot that I've hopefully managed to put in there. So yeah, that's my number 5, Suppression. Right, number 4. All these I do actually own now, at the moment. So this is my favourite black metal album of the year. It's a Canadian band, two-piece. They're a French-speaking Canadian band. They're based out of Quebec. It features Philip Boucher, who plays the drums, guitar and bass on this whole album. I think he even mixed it. He also plays in Beyond Creation as the drummer, I think he is, in the band. I can't remember. But also, weirdly enough, has a vocalist who got to the quarterfinals of Canada's The Voice. If you know that TV show from around the world, here in the UK we have it. But that was quite funny to read up on that. He was the only ever extreme metal vocalist in The Voice. And this is Incandescence. And I can't speak French, I failed that at school, but it's Le Coeur de l'Homme. And this is, I think, their second full length, or third, I can't really remember. Maybe third album. And, oh, no, sorry, it's their fourth full length album. I'm talking out my arse. This came out in April. And not only is the cover gloriously magnificent, this is some of the nastiest, brutalist death metal I've heard in ages. Because, well, I say death metal actually by accident because it has a blackened death metal edge to it. It's a black metal album through and through, really. But the way the drums are played on there and the riffs, and some of the vocals as well, they're not just screeched, they are barked with guttural vocals. You got that death metal edge in there, and that's probably why it's gone up so high for me, because it just kind of crosses over into those boundaries I really love. They're the lads there. That was the guy in the trench coat on The Voice, and that guy there is in Beyond Creation, if you know that band. And this just goes. It's fucking amazing. And it's one I've listened to again and again and again and again and again. And when I start looking at streams and what I've listened to this year to do this list and what stood out, this one just kept coming up, so it had to be in the top half of the list just because I know how much I like it. You know, nothing else has changed my mind when it comes to kind of the black metal stuff. There's been so many good black metal albums out this year. But this one ticks all the boxes for me of what I want music to be. And this could be one, if I want a blackened, angry edge, I can put this on. If I want that kind of brutality, I can put this on. It covers lots of different bases, and it's fucking amazing. So yeah, that's my number 4, was it? Yep, number 4, Incandescence. And that was put out through Profound Law Records. Right, number 3 is an English band, one-man project that absolutely floored me. Guy behind it, Simon. I can't remember even how I got spoken to him, but he was on my social medias at some point, and then I saw he was doing this album. I think Paul from Enchantment was the one that mentioned it first, and he features on this album. And my number 3 pick is Thy Listless Heart, with the Pilgrims on the Path of Their Return. Now that is a Lewandowski cover. You know, sadly he passed away, I think it was last year, he might have even passed away earlier than that. But, yeah, I mean, this is amazing. This isn't Death Doom, this is a Doom album. There's no death metal really in here. And it's got vibes of gothic kind of Doom. There's a little bit of epic Doom in there, especially with Simon's singing voice. He's got an amazing vocal range, and how he sings the songs. It's all from the heart, it's all honest. He's not trying to sound like anybody else. It's very much his own identity on this album. And it is a future classic. I guarantee you, in 20 odd years' time, when people talk about Doom albums from the UK, I would very confidently think this will be in there. If not, if I'm still kicking it, I will tell people it is. Because it's just beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful album. I think his daughter is involved on some vocals as well, which adds to it to make it a proper family affair. Which is produced by Greg, who is the mastermind behind Esoteric. Greg Chandler, he runs Priory Studios where this was recorded. It's been mastered by him, so it's got a very thick, massive sound, and it's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic album. There's some really cool guest musicians, you know, apart like Paul from Enchantment, a few other people involved as well. And I can't tell you how good this is. Like, The Precipice is probably the most catchiest chorus on this one, but also Confessions, I really like that song. Probably the heaviest song on this album. So yeah, never heard of it before, obviously pause this video or wait till the end, go check out the link below, because it's fucking amazing. I love it. That's my number 3. Right, number 2. These last two, you know, might throw a few people. Maybe, I doubt it, but definitely the number 1 spot will throw people. I know that for a fact. Now, my number 2 is an American band. Now, this isn't death metal, this isn't doom, it's not black. This is a straight up traditional heavy metal album that really, really, really impressed me, and is one I've been listening to loads. My kids love it, especially my oldest who's 10. He adores this album. It's the second full length that was released in September. It features 2 members from Eternal Champion, if you know them, power metal band that are epic. The drummer on this album is Justin Detour, who is in Dream Unending and Innumerable Forms, who released 2 albums in 2022 that have been on a lot of the year-end lists. So this bloke has been a very busy boy. And this features the vocal talents of a Brendan Radigan, who is iconic on this album. It's amazing, his voice. And that is Summerlands with Dreamkiller. This was put out through Relapse Records back in September, yeah. And this is their second full length. Now, if you've never heard of this project, the best way I could describe them is they are a cross between Jake Lee Roth, Ozzy Osbourne era, Dokken, and maybe early Scorpions. It is a lot of that vibe to it, and I can't stress how catchy this album is. It's so catchy, and the production on it is spot on. The guitar work, the solos, there's synths in there, all as is 80s epicness in this album. Considering it's a 2022 album, it sounds like a really fresh 80s album that's been remastered, and I love it. Every single song on this album I absolutely love. Like, there's not a bad song on here. There's not one song I can skip. I mean, my favourites, I obviously have favourites, whereas like Edge of the Knife is probably the most riffiest and catchy, and the chorus is amazing. I love Heavens Above, that's really catchy to sing along to. But they're all really catchy. The Saviour's Lie has like a Dear Rainbow-esque kind of epicness to it, how it builds. And, you know, I will leave a link below and you can check out some of the songs. But it's just so catchy. And, you know, originally when I first saw this cover, I thought this was a black metal album, because I knew nothing about them, and I don't know why I assumed that. I think it's whoever was talking about it in a screenshot on Instagram. I didn't read what style it was, and I just put it on and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing. why have I never heard of this before? And I've heard it bazillion times now, and I'm glad to actually have it on vinyl, because it's an iconic album for me, and I absolutely love it, and my kids love it, and it's my number 2 for a reason. It's just very, very catchy. So yeah, Summerlands with Dreamkiller. Now, my number 1 isn't really a metal album. It is a doom album to a point, but it's a bit gothic, and I've even heard the term sad pop, but I don't know what the fuck that is. So if that is a genre, let me know, but I've never heard anyone say, oh, it's a sad pop genre. But this is a London-based singer who put this album out, and it is one that I blindly listen to on Spotify and absolutely adore it. It is very gloomy, very melodic, very catchy. It's got bags of sorrow. The voice behind this artist is the whole reason it sounds the way it does, and how she carries. It's just amazing. So this is A.A. Williams with the album As the Moon Rests. This was put out through Bella Union in... Do you know, I didn't even write it down. That's how rushed I was to do these notes. But you don't care. This is an amazing album. An amazing album. Now, the reason it's in this list is because I obviously like doom and death metal and black metal and metal in general, but I checked this out because someone said it's doomy, and I went, okay, I'll give it a go. And she plays with it live, a Gibson Explorer, and she uses the baritone guitar, so you got those low tunings in there, and I love baritone guitars, and I've got several in this room dotted around. And she plays this kind of really sad melodic doom metal, it's not metal, doomy kind of music, but it's mainstream pop sounding almost, just her voice, but the music around her and the way she creates these epic choruses that are really miserable, like Evaporate. That one's got a really catchy chorus in it. Hollow Heart, brilliant. I mean, all these songs are brilliant, but As the Moon Rests is probably the most guitar driven one of the whole album, the very last song on this album. It's very epic. It's got some guitar melodies underneath, which brings that doomy kind of atmosphere in there. And I guess if you put some extra heavy guitars underneath this, you could make this a doom metal album very easily. It's not far from there. It's just on the edge of being in that kind of ballpark where you could say, oh, that's a doom metal album. Almost. It's not, but I just think her work is fantastic, and you know, I'm totally new to her music. Haven't checked out her previous release, so I obviously will do that. But oh yeah, I can't stress how good this is. So if you want something that's going to put you in a somber mood, and you want to check out some female vocals where she's not dancing, shaking her ass, which nothing wrong with that, but you know, she's not trying to impress you with some kind of overdubs and in tuning to change her voice to sound like a duck almost. This is straight from the heart, gloomy music, and it's amazing. So yeah, my number 1 pick for 2022 is A.A. Williams, As the Moon Rests. So yeah, that is my top 20 for the year. Thank you if you've watched to the end. I will leave a link to my previous video with my EPs video, but I also want to thank everyone who supported the channel in 2022 and subscribed. I got over 2,000 subs within less than 150 videos, something stupid like that, which is insane, and I really am grateful. And I've got bands and labels messaging me now to check out their stuff, which is incredible. Again, you know, if I can help in any way, I obviously will, you know, as long as it's something I can listen to. And again, anyone who supported Consecration this year and bought our new album, Sinis, I've seen it in end year lists, which is incredible because it fucking wouldn't have been in mine. And it's just really cool to see people getting together and talking about music, especially these year-end lists as well, because you get to see albums you may have completely missed, and there's a fair few that I haven't checked out. I picked up over 100 releases this year in 2022, and you know, I really struggled to make this list. Most of these albums were a given, but there was a few that kind of flirted in and out. So yeah, I'll stop waffling. Please enjoy yourselves, and I'll look forward to speaking to you guys in the comment section, and I'll look forward to showing you some new content in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, take care and cheers.